See, the game is lame and absurd, but just a bit. You need to sit back and observe a certified pimp. He's so fly. Oh yes he is. I mean that boy does the shit. He's a mess he is. Fresh to death. Ain't nobody fresh as he is. They can't compare or get next to him because he's so fly. I mean the boy's so clean. From his white tee on down to those jeans. You see the ice in the pinky.
Good morning, everybody. It's your man's Ken Jackson. This is the Ken Jackson Experience. So, getting caught up. Finally, getting myself back to work after a little hiatus, being ill with the flu. And man, I'll say it again. It was bad, y'all. Get your flu shots. Get your flu shots. So anyway. As you all know, if you haven't heard, celebrated actor, director Rob Reiner, my generation knows him as Meathead from All in the Family, was found dead along with his wife Michele in their Brentwood home. And apparently, their son Nick is in custody. And it's a tragedy, obviously. It's a shame when anything like this hits the news. Especially, someone like Rob Reiner, who everybody who knows him, says he was probably one of the nicest guys in Hollywood you could ever meet. But as I said, he was a celebrated director, had some great movies over the years, like When Harry Met Sally. This is Spinal Tap, which was the groundbreaking mockumentary that he created and directed that really kicked off his directorial career. It's a shame, such a great talent. I didn't know him personally. I'd never met him, but from all accounts, they say he was a cool guy, and he seemed like, he was a real down to earth, guy, from all the interviews and appearances that I've seen. Now, what's really sick is the response from your president, Donald J. Trump. It's ridiculous, how Trump responds to anything, but this has to be the most ridiculous of them all. And Trump says, here, I'm gonna read it here. Very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife, Michele, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have been driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michele rest in peace. He actually posted that shit on his raggedy ass Truth Social network. When I first read it, I thought it was a joke. Then so I read it again, and then I realized, no, it's not a joke, and this is who we have as president of the United States: a real asswipe, a 34-time convicted felon, an adjudicated sexual predator, and worst of all, in my opinion, as a veteran, a 5-time draft dodging coward. This is who y'all elected. Now, I want you to really let this sink in, what he said about Rob Reiner. Basically saying he caused his own death because of his activist activities or democratic activities in regards to his disdain for the Trump administration and the entire criminal organization that's running the White House. First of all, to the Reiner family, my condolences go out to you. It's I mean, it's a deep tragedy when something like this happens. It's going to take a long time for the pain to go away, if it ever goes away from something like this. And what made it worse is that it was a family member, allegedly, who committed this horrible crime, this heinous crime. But for the president of the United States to use this tragedy as a means to try to make himself look good, to make himself seem as though he's the victim, actually, is not only diabolical, it's evil, it's embarrassing to me as an American that this is the so-called leader that we have in charge of this country. I'm constantly listening to the arguments about Trump's policies and his style of government, and he has no policies. He has zero policies. He has no talent and no skill to hold the executive office. There's no reason he should be there. He's in over his head. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Or maybe he does know what the fuck he's doing. Maybe he's doing it on purpose because he's just an evil motherfucker. I don't know. I don't know the man personally. Although, my family has had dealings with his organization, many years ago, as my father was a plumbing and heating contractor. So I won't even get into that. But Donald Trump is not a good guy. Yet he maintains support of almost a third of the country. Of course, he's losing a lot of it now because they're finding out that his policies are failing. He has no economic plan. He has no plan for health care in America. He hates everybody except for white male billionaires. And even some of them he hates because they hate his ass. He runs the government by executive order. He hasn't legislated anything, ever. He hasn't well, no, I take that back. His first administration, he did negotiate a trade deal between Canada and Mexico, which now he says, they've taken advantage of America so much, and with these bad deals, and dude, you negotiated the last deal with Mexico and Canada. So, what's that say about your negotiation skills, Mr. Trump? Listen, I know a lot of y'all that watch me support Donald Trump, and let me say this to you: you're fucking idiots. You're stupid. It was bad enough the fact that y'all went so hard to elect this motherfucker, but even after all the failures, all of the criminal activity, all of the corruption, y'all still support this clown? I just really can't understand what's going on. I don't understand it. It's such a sad situation that we're in here right now in America, and something has to give. Something has to give. The midterms are coming up. There's been a few special elections thus far in which Democrats have won big. Maybe the Democrats can take back the House, hopefully. Maybe the Democrats can take the Senate. And if that happens with big enough majorities, they can make some changes. Like they can get the Supreme Court under control. They can take back control of a lot of the controls that this current Congress has given away to the executive branch. There's so much that needs to be done. It's probably going to take 50 years to fix the first 4 years in previous this previous year of the second Trump administration. I want y'all to keep in mind, okay, for all you Trump supporters out there, excuse me, y'all are always talking about Trump is so good for the economy. Well, the economy sucks. Be honest. Are your prices down? Because they're not down for us here in South Florida. Grocery prices are still ridiculous. Gas prices are a little bit more manageable. I'll give it that. But here's the truth. Inflation right now is exactly the same as it was when Joe Biden left office. So Donald Trump has done nothing to bring inflation down. He always touts, though, the record highs of the stock market. The stock market always has record highs. The market is going to continue to grow regardless. Well, until it crashes. And I got a feeling it may crash within the next year or two with the way things are going. Republican presidents have never reduced the deficit. Democratic presidents have always reduced the deficit. Keep that in mind. Those are facts. You can look it up. If you just turn away from Fox News for a few minutes and actually look at some fact-checking resources, no Republican president has ever balanced the budget at all. But a Democratic president has. Remember Bill Clinton? As much as you hated the Clintons did leave office with a budget surplus. There was money in the bank. All bills were paid. And America was looking real good on the world stage back then. And contrary to popular belief, when President Obama was in office, he was actually on track to reducing the deficit. The Republicans fought him, though, at every turn. Joe Biden came into office after the pandemic. Inflation was sky high globally, not because of anything done on a government level. It was because of the pandemic that the inflation rate was so high when Joe Biden came into office. But here's the thing: Joe Biden was able to get legislation done, bipartisan legislation. Donald Trump has not legislated anything. Everything Donald Trump has done and what he claims to have accomplished has been through executive order and a corrupt Congress and Supreme Court, basically allowing him to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Now we have mass murder going on in the Caribbean. We have these tariffs, which is a tax on us, we the people. Tariffs are screwing up everything. Pricing is still sky high. The Fed has cut interest rates for a third time, trying to get the economy under control. Listen, the stock market is not the economy. Not for us. Not for us. The stock market is the economy for the billionaires. And they're doing great. They're making money hand over fist. But they're making that money on the backs of you and me and the rest of the population. They don't give a fuck about you, your health care. They don't give a fuck about your grocery bills, your utility bills. Home utility bills are off the charts. And I want you MAGA motherfuckers, I want you Trump supporters to be honest. Because you know good and damn well cost of living is ridiculous and it's getting worse under Trump. That's just the facts. I really don't understand how so many people not only vote against their best interests, but continue to support the mechanisms that go against their best interests. Yeah, I know you hate Democrats. Politicians, are fucked up all around. I'll be the first to admit it. Democrats are not the best. None of these politicians are the best. Maybe we just ought to totally tear down the government, and start all over. Because, remember when Donald Trump said he was going to drain the swamp? He did that. He told the truth. He drained the swamp. But after he drained it, he dredged it out, made it much, much deeper, and he filled it right back up with brand new critters that were worse than the ones that were taken out. So let that sink in. But make it make sense to me how y'all can continue to support this criminal cartel in the White House. Let's get back to the murders in the Caribbean. They're blowing up speedboats. They got the full force of the United States Navy out here hunting and blowing up speedboats. Not at all doing anything to slow down the traffic of drugs coming into America, because most drugs come into America through legal means, through container ships, through airline routes, and by American citizens. It's Americans that are bringing most of the drugs into the country. And Venezuela is not a big supplier of drugs to the U.S. Most of anything that comes out of Venezuela ends up in Europe. And at the same time, Trump says he's doing this, to hurt the cartels. He's pardoning drug lords. Think about that. He's pardoning drug lords. Some of the biggest drug lords in the world, and Donald Trump has given them pardons because they support his agenda. So they're good people. This is what we got in the White House, y'all. I can't even make it any simpler than that. We have a criminal cartel in the White House. Oh, did you hear about the ballroom? The contractors have quit, and now they're having trouble finding a new contractor to complete the project because all of the architects and the contractors have said this shit won't work the way that Trump wants it. So now we have a White House that looks like a freaking disaster zone because of all the construction going on or not going on right at the moment. So much of our history has been destroyed when he demolished the East Wing. And y'all are just sitting around and taking it. Nobody's saying nothing else about it. That story has disappeared because we got so many goddamn distractions going on that, who can keep up? Who can keep up? All right. But anyway, you know what it is. We got a lot of work to do, and get out and vote. 2026. Excuse me. I know you think your vote don't count, but it does. It really, really does. Participation is everything. We got to participate in the system. That's the only way we're going to be able to change this system. All right, y'all. That's all I got to say. That's my morning commentary. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel right here, Crazy Baby TV World on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, follow me there. But please subscribe. Help me out with the algorithm. I don't sell shit. I just talk shit, y'all. Also, we're getting ready to start presenting what we should have been presenting a long time ago. I got some music artists online that we're going to be showing their interviews and playing some of their music once we get the licensing cleared on that. Because YouTube will shut you down for copyright infringements and shit. So I want to make sure these artists got their music right and proper, properly cleared and everything before we present them here. And a couple other things going on. We got another web series in production. I'm kind of throttling back on doing work with clients because it takes too much of my time, way too much of my time. So we're shutting down the services portion. I got one project that I'm working on, and I'm about to divorce myself from that here pretty soon, and just kind of focus on in-house stuff. So hey, if you're interested in working with us here at Crazy Baby TV World and the Ken Jackson Experience, get at me, inbox me, direct message, email, however, all our contacts are there. Oh, and check out the website, www.crazybabytvworld.com. It's live. It's been live for a long time, but I just got my domain back. I had to fight someone to get my domain back. It was my fault because I let it expire last year, and I didn't renew it. And by the time I got ready to renew it, somebody else had bought it. So I had to negotiate to get my domain back. Ain't that something? A domain I've had for years. But I got it back. CrazyBabyTVWorld.com. It's up. It's live. Go check it out. Check out the blog. We got some great stories there with a lot of good information for y'all. And we'll see you Sunday night, 9 p.m. For the regular broadcast, Ken Jackson Experience. We're going to try to get some guests online this week coming up. So check us out. And we will be out and about in public all around South Florida this week. We finally got our ground game together, and we're going to get out and do some things and have some fun out here in the real world. All right, so until then, I'm your host, Ken Jackson. This has been the Ken Jackson Experience. I will see y'all next time. Everybody have a wonderful day. Peace. I am out.